I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Emmy-nominated actor, the one and only Niecy Nash-Betts. Niecy, this season you've starred in The Rookie Feds, and you also feature in Dahmer on Netflix, playing two completely different women, one real, one
Yes.
fictional, two different worlds, yet they're both fierce, perceptive, endearing. What common threads do you see in these two characters?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. I would say the thing that I think is a through line between Simone Clark and Glenda Cleveland are that they want to be seen. You know, they both want to be heard. They want to be able to take up space and know that they have add value in the world. Simone waited later in life to live her dream of becoming an FBI agent, but she still feels like she has add value. Glenda Cleveland, in trying to call the police and trying to share what she was experiencing through living next door to Jeffrey Dahmer, wanted to be heard, wanted her voice to have value in the world. And neither of them ever stopped trying.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I'm not going to lie. I get a kick out of Rookie Feds. It's got this irresistible confidence. It's upbeat. It's fun. It's empowering, and it's seductive. Was that part of what attracted you to starring in this spin-off?
Oh, sure. And it was something I had not played before. And with the statistics being that less than 1% of black women make up the FBI, that made it even more delicious because we are representing those women, those voices, those spaces and places that little girls haven't seen someone who looks like them in.
Yeah, it's so true. Like Alexi Hawley, the co-creator of the show, has said that he was keen to explore the fact that only 1% of FBI agents are black women, which I find crazy. I don't even believe that's actually a statistic. And why has it taken this long for someone to come up with a show like this? So was that how this was sold to you when you first did the backdoor pilot in the two-parter back in the original Rookie? Like what was discussed with you about, let's bring this show to life?
Well, there was a phone call and it said, we have this idea. This is what we want to do. And, I said, I could, rock with this, but I really want to be a part of the creative idea of Simone. You know what I mean? So that she is made up of many women that I know. Because sometimes people writing a character may not have specifics that you may think that need to be baked in. But I loved it. And I had not seen a woman pulling air quotes from heaven of a certain age, a black woman joining the FBI, being an equal opportunity lover, and really enjoying her second act. And I was like, yes, please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Yeah, I mean, you've said that Simone Clark is the perfect embodiment of a dream deferred.
Yeah.
And that never really occurred to me. I really love that. Does that resonate with you personally? I mean, you've been working for such a long time, but I mean, you must know people, or what did you tap into personally to kind of really get to the heart of what that means?
Well, there always, will be things that you dream about, things that you think about, things that you want. And they don't necessarily have to be career related, but it could be a relationship. It could be a child. You know what I mean? It could be anything that you've longed for and wanted. And you say, I don't know why I'm acting like I can't make this happen. There is always a way, and so that's really what I leaned into.
Just personally, I'm always about that. I'm always telling people, if you want something, you just really have to work at it and you can do it. Like, it's not impossible. This show says that and it proves that. But it does it in a really fun, upbeat way, more than I even expected. I mean, The Rookie itself with Nathan Fillion is not the darkest drama on earth, but this
Right.
show, I think, taps into this special quality that you have of bringing some light in some quite dark subject matter. And you've said that as well in the past, that they've baked in some comedy, which you
Yeah.
really like. But you know what, Niecy, like, it can be, a show can really go wrong if it doesn't get the tone just right. And this show could go
Right.
off the rails if it doesn't get it right. So how much do you appreciate how Alexi and Terrence and the writers seem to get that tone just right for the show?
Oh, I love it. And they're also open. It's still a collaborative process. Because if I find a hidden gem of a joke on a page, that no one saw being funny, or if I want to add or delete because I think that tonally it would fit better with what we've already established, there is room for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's little things like when someone says, "Did you call the LAPD?" and you're like, "No, I texted." And I love that. Just little things. Running around chasing crims in a wedding dress. Like, only Niecy
Yeah.
Nash-Betts can do that just right. And I just wonder, when you get hit with things like that, what's your reaction? Are you like, really? You're gonna make me run around in a wedding dress? Or you're like, yes, I'm gonna run around in a wedding dress and I'm gonna kill
Oh, I want to do so much more than run around in a wedding dress. I love the idea in this world of our undercover characters, because that really gives you room to satiate your own creative desires.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, ABC has renewed the show for the full season. Congratulations. That was a fun
Thank you.
yesterday. You've said in the past as well that there's two ways of doing things. There's the FBI way and the Simone way. And she
Yes.
dances with a bit of her own drum. And that's what we're desperately wanting to be a part of. Like, every time I click play to watch the show, I'm like, all right, Simone, where are you going to take me today? You're going to make me smile and feel good. And that's what I love most about her. But
Oh.
let's not shy away from the fact that it's still going to be a lot of work. That's 22 episodes. It doesn't, that's a lot. Are you prepared mentally, physically, emotionally for how much this show's going to take over your life for the foreseeable future?
No. That's the short answer. Oh my goodness. I'm older than Simone Clark. Okay. So yeah, no, I'm gonna meet the challenge. I'm gonna rise to the occasion, but I know it's not going to be easy.
I mean, yeah, you've come off Claws, and you've done a whole bunch of films and miniseries, and yeah, I mean, you're always on our screens in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's a big undertaking. What is it about strong women sharpshooters like you, I imagine, that you like playing women like that?
I just like playing women that I haven't played before.
Mm.
And it just so happened that, that's, what shows up or falls into my lap. I've never really been a villain in anything, but
No.
I would welcome it just because I've never done it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
surprising. You haven't really played a villain. I mean, you played some kind
no.
of crazy characters. You played a lot of
Mhm.
really awesome sassy characters. I will never forget Dee Dee from Getting On. But I mean,
Oh
yeah, okay,
yes.
everybody, let's manifest out there. Niecy Nash-Betts, I think you'd kill it as a villain. It'd be
Some
so
sort of
good.
villain in some, way, or some sort of a character with ill intent.
Yes.
You
But
know
you
what I
can still,
mean?
yeah, you can
I
still be
mean, I think it could
funny,
be
and
interesting.
yeah, I think so. So that's next. But for now, it's all about Simone Clark.
Yes,
Um,
it is.
You know what? I felt a little dumb when I didn't realize that your wife, Jessica Betts, is on the show in a recurring role. I didn't recognize it. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's her. And because there was this spark instant, like, this casting is so great. Then I realized, what's it like to have you? I can't imagine having my wife on at my work. I'd probably run for the hills. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'd love to have her at work, of course. What's it like having a partner at work together or on screen? That must be really special.
I love it. That's my favorite person. So we don't get tired of being around each other. So, when it's bring your spouse to work day, even better.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
yeah, that's good. And hopefully, do you think we'll see a lot more of Dina on the show that you're aware of?
I hope so. And my youngest daughter plays one of my twins on the show, and my middle daughter has actually guest starred on the show. So, I love it when my family is around.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a family affair, and
Oh, yeah.
that's going to make the job even more pleasurable. But
Yeah.
speaking of, the cast is great. You've got a really great ensemble of actors around you, really
Yes.
lovely, diverse group of people, like people that I recognize, like James Lasser. But what do you most value about this group of people that you're now you're going to be a family, whether you like it or not. You're going to be working together for a while. So what do you like most
Well,
about them?
the thing is, we do like it. we and the connection with this cast happens so fast, but it is so deep. I couldn't even believe it. I've never experienced anything like it. We have been on a group text with each other for the last 7 months. If anybody does not come to work, we reach out to them on the thread. If anybody has a challenge, a joke, wants you to go eat, we do everything. That's like, we do everything together. Even when we're not at work, it's like, hey, what you doing? What's going on over there? Everybody all right? I love it. I just love this group of people, like, from my soul.
Like, that's rare. You know this. You've been around for a while. You know that sometimes you're in a group of people that they're fine and it's professional and you get on with the day, but to find a group of people that you really want to be around. And plus, Niecy, you're number one on the call sheet. You do set the tone for the set in many ways, whether you like it or not. Do you feel that responsibility? Like, what do you bring to the set to make it congeal together as people that get along?
I absolutely do, and I lean into it. To be a leading lady is not just in title, but it's in action. It's in deed. And you have to be someone who people want to follow. How do you lead if nobody wants to follow you? My set is so fun. There is so much joy. There is so much laughter. And that's from everybody, cast, crew. And it's warm and loving. And people who come as a guest star never want to leave. They never want to leave. Is there any way I can come back on the show? If y'all ever need me, everybody wants to stay.
That's great. You know what? I think that's probably one of the greatest legacies that you'll be able to leave for a show like this, because that's not
Amen.
what I hear all the time, and you know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to switch it up a little before I let you go about Dahmer, because that was obviously a sensation over the last few months. Everyone that I know
Sure.
has seen it. You portray the late Glenda Cleveland, serial
Yes.
killer Jeffrey Dahmer's neighbor. I didn't know anything about her. I'm really glad I know about her now. The overwhelmingly positive response to your portrayal has been deafening. How do you feel about honoring her legacy like that? Everyone knows who she is now.
Listen, it most times when I think about it, it brings me to tears. To be in that much pain, to live in that much fear, and nobody was listening. It's heartbreaking. You think about how many people could have been saved. So
Yeah.
I hope that wherever her spirit is resting, that she finally feels heard.
Absolutely. Just imagine living through that, the smell and the fear and and no one listening to you. What does it say about that those times, and even now, that a black woman can be screaming from the hilltops that something is wrong, and people are just shrugging at her like whatever?
Yeah. Well, I feel like this particular story is timeless. I feel like there are still marginalized communities. There are still communities that are over policed or under policed, depending on the makeup of that community. There are still people living under a cloak of white privilege. I could go on. All of it is very, very timeless, and that's the unfortunate part.
Absolutely. Also, there's been a lot of criticism leveled at serial killer shows in general, especially
Hmm.
around the ethics of amplifying these stories about these awful people that have committed these horrible crimes. I get
Sure.
that. But then I always say to people, have you seen Dahmer? Have you actually watched it? Because I feel like a lot of effort was made by Ryan Murphy and his team to shine more of a light on the victims and the innocent bystanders like Glenda. What do you say to that feedback that people were so angry about bringing the show to life, but it's actually not glorifying him at all?
Well, I would probably first ask whether or not they've seen it. Because I think if you have seen it, you understand that you really enter this world through Glenda Cleveland's eyes. And then when you continue to peel back the layers of the onion, you get to know the people whose names you probably never heard. Because the one looming over them all was Jeffrey Dahmer. And the collateral damage, the fallout, the trail he left behind him wasn't spoken of in detail. And you get to know these people. You get to know their families. You get to see how they took up space in the world. And I'm glad that their stories are the ones that are in the forefront of this particular narrative.
Totally agreed. And Niecy, thank you so much for bringing her to life. And the Rookie Feds, I'm having a ball watching this, and I
Thank
hope
you.
for the next 10 seasons, but I know that's going to be very tiring, but that's okay. You'll do it. You'll be okay. Thanks again for your time.
You're welcome.